Yo, what's up, Blackish fam? I hope all is well in your corner of the world. Man, some of our subscribers asked us to go through the entire Garbology album, so we're going through it. Right, we're making our way. We're just now at difficult. So, yo, let's dive right into it. It's definitely been a journey, but I do have to say that the breakdown so far it's been much easier to interpret than the earlier work that I did. Daylight, Mystery Fish. Mystery Fish wasn't too bad, but Kirby. These are just ones that I was just like, what is going on? Right? What did he just say? But really loving it. I love the trivia. I love the complexity into his lyrics. But yeah, we're trying to understand the context. So we're doing an in-depth breakdown of the entire album. If you're a fan, man, show some love by liking the video, but subscribing to the channel as well. But yo, let's get right into this. This is Difficult by Aesop Rock. I wish he had more videos.
Hey, pulled pork sliders, head of Tory and jorts and horse blinders. I'm more.
Bro, this dude just comes out of the woodwork with some stuff. He said, hey, pulled pork sliders. Gotta love pulled pork sliders. But he said, heading for Satori and jorts. Just like those jean shorts, right? And horse blinders. That's what you put on a horse to make sure they only stay focused on one thing. It's like a blindfold for a horse, right? Satori, let me make sure I heard it right, but I believe he's talking about a Buddhist term, right? Like Japanese Buddhist. Run it back.
Hey, pulled pork sliders, head of Satori and jorts and horse blinders. I'm more.
Yeah, Satori. I mean, that's it's like a Buddhist term for an awakening, right? It means comprehension. It means understanding. You're talking about a really deep experience, right? Looking into, like seeing someone's true nature when you're talking about Satori.
Pulled pork sliders, head of
Satori, jorts, and horse blinders.
I'm more for the sorted, got name for the normies.
Listen to what he said, right? I'm more for the sordid, right? What's sordid? Sordid is like when someone, their taste is very unique. They might like masturbating to dolls, right? Or bestiality. But it's somebody who's a little, dare I say, dirty, right? It's like what Hillary Clinton would have called the deplorables, right? Sordid is like moral distaste, if you would. He said, "Nan for the normies," right? So he's saying like, "Yo, I fuck with people that are dirty, filthy, more from the scummier side of things." Nan, I don't think he's saying it like nana, right? Or like mum and your nan, right? I think he's talking about like nun. Yo, I fuck with the weirder people. I got no love for the normies, right? Or the more normal people, the more mainstream people.
My storm got plans for the Dorothy's. I storm all forge and for the normies. Cornered. My storm got plans for the Dorothy's. I storm all forge for my
that beat. Like he's talking about Dorothy, right? I think most people probably understand the reference to Dorothy, right? Dorothy rushes home. A tornado approaches, right? And she's got her aunt and her uncle, and they all take shelter. They all take the shelter, and the storm happens, and we don't really know if the window's blown, right? It hits her on the head, and she goes unconscious, and that's kind of where we get the story. Where we're messing with Dorothy and her dog Toto, right? A lot of people. There's been a lot of controversy over the years as more has come out about Dorothy, and supposedly she was like 10 years old, and they were feeding her like stimulants to keep her up, and then sleeping pills when she wasn't on set. This is a way of making that movie just horrible conditions, right? Run it back.
and horse blinders. I'm more for the sorted, got name for the normies. Cornered, my storm got plans for the
Dorothy.
I storm all forts for my gramps war story. Short sword swinging like a dance floor in the 40s.
Ooh, swing dance, right? Doing the, you're swinging them in between their legs and around the. I remember watching this GIF, and it was about swing dancing, and it just said, when you actually realize your grandparents were cooler than you were. Right, when you see kids nowadays and they're just on their phone, it's like, back in the day, people were getting down, right, and doing all that sorts of silliness, but they were coordinated, man. They had some fun.
My gramps war story, short sword swinging like a dance floor.
We're in the 40s.
My oars both row in an ocean of fringe science.
My oars both row in an ocean of fringe science, right? Fringe science, it's it's like you're going after like ancient alien theorists, right? It's not traditional academic science. It's outside of the mainstream. So he's saying my oars both row in an ocean of fringe science. So he's talking about, I'm not just I'm doubling down, right? I'm in this. I get down with the otherworldly type of shit.
Like a dance floor in the 40s. My oars both row in the ocean
to the fringe science.
The low roads on are the most inched lighters.
You one of those people that are smoking with you and they come home with the lighter, like, goddamn, motherfucker Aesop Rock got my lighter again. Shit.
The low roads on are the most inched lighters.
He's proud of it too.
A crane kick plays like a train through a mountain. My neck chop play.
Hey, crane kick. That's that Karate Kid ass kick, right? For the highlight of the Karate Kid movie, right? Where he hits the bad guy after he's getting his ass whooped for so long, right?
Baby got 1,000. A crane kick plays like a train through a mountain. My neck chop plays like blades on a frisbee. Old tally home had the whole place in it.
You're talking about a frisbee blade. These are people that really know how to do specific throws with the frisbee. Where they say it's like it goes really high and then it curves, right? You're talking about a blade, not literally.
Maybe got 1,000. A crane kick plays like a train through a mountain. My neck chop plays like blades on a frisbee. Old tally ho had the whole place in a dizzy as you with it.
Tally ho, that's a brand of playing cards. Like if you're playing like Skip Bow. I guess if you're more urban, you're probably playing spades or poker, right? Picking up some books, right? But in Chicago, man, if you go to a house party and you're, and it's more of an urban house party, there's a few things you're going to see. You're going to see some cheap beer, more than likely 40s. Depending if they're a little bit older, you're going to start seeing some Hennessy there, and you're going to see a table flipped over and some dudes playing cards, right? And they're playing normally spades, playing poker if they're a little bit older. Very common in the hood. But tally ho, if I'm not mistaken, that's a brand of playing cards. So if you flip over the ace or the king, right, you'll see that tally ho mark, and it almost looks like the colors like from a bandana or something. I believe that's what he's referring to.
1,000. A crane kick plays like a train through a mountain. My neck chop plays like blades on
a frisbee. All tally ho had the whole place in a tizzy izzy with it.
Big name wake made a windswept village. Visit with a simp get skittish.
The simp. That's I guess I would assume he's talking about something more urban, right? Like you would talk about a Vic, right? A Vic is like a victim. A simp is someone who they do too much for something that they like, right? They're kind of like a send-off or a stand. It's like they just it's like over-the-top behavior about someone that you're like almost obsessing with, if you would. Like back in the day, I used to like Alyssa Milano. I wouldn't go as far as saying I was a simp, but that was my jam. Oh, who's the boss? I was giving it to her in pornos and who's the boss? Alyssa Milano, right?
Big name wake made a windswept village. Visit with a simp get skittish. Some get a signal to the ships in a distance. Most get crickets. It's slim pickings. Folks say I'm difficult. Most get it with a simp, see as you with it. Big name, wake made a.
So he's the one that's difficult, right? Is that's what the song's about? Like how he is interacting with the world around him? Am I reading that right?
Swept village. Visit with a simp
It's get it. Some get a signal to the ships in the distance. Most get crickets. It's Slim Pickens.
Folks say I'm difficult.
I'm too stubborn. It's funny. I'm real easy. Y'all bugging. Yeah, he's talking about himself.
It's funny, I'm real easy.
The beat.
Y'all bugging. I like film cameras and slim chances, and I always put the chips in a sandwich.
Yo, yeah, he's talking about, I'm actually quite simple. You motherfuckers are difficult, right? what do I like? I like film cameras, old school shit, slim chances, right? Doing what people say can't be done. I always put the chips in my sandwich, right? I enjoy my shit.
I like film cameras and
Slim chances. Always put the chips in the sandwich.
Yeah, bitch, picture a hiccup
Ooh.
in the curriculum. Clearing off his coattails, tones yelling, finish him. Stone face
Finish him, right? Mortality or Mortal Kombat.
hiccup in the curriculum. Clearing off his coattails, tones yelling,
Finish him.
Stone faced, always with the same two sidekicks.
He's always with the same boys, right? He said, I'm always with the same two sidekicks.
Tones yelling, finish him. Stone faced, always with the same two sidekicks. One no, both the comedically oversized fists. A wallop, a whole pack of punks. Pretty
That's I almost thought a jalop, right? Not a wallop. A jalop is when you slap someone with your dick, right? Like if you're messing around with your girl and you're right, you just turn around and bah, slap her with it. It's called a jalop. A wallop is like a punch, but it's more thought of like in the old school, like the cartoons where bam, pow, right? And then there's like a little box, a little message box that says pow, bam, slam, whack, wallop, right? it's a way of saying like you're fighting something old school from like a comic strip.
both the comedically oversized fists. Pack a wallop, a whole pack of punks. Pretty much a grizzly plucking sushi after.
So he's talking about how easy it is, right? Look at what he says. Pretty much a grizzly plucking sushi out the salmon run, right? So did he say salmon?
Salmon run.
Yeah. So, he's talking about how easy it is, right? He's not that difficult, is what he's talking about.
Two sidekicks, one no. Both the comedically
Oversized fists.
Pack a
Wallop.
a whole
Pack of punks.
Pretty much a grizzly
Plucking
plucking
sushi out the salmon run.
Woo!
Woo!
I'm
Eat.
an apple with no tree. I'm ground swell crack.
I'm an apple with no tree. When you think about that, right? I'm an apple with no tree. And when you say like the tree doesn't fall, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, you're normally talking about being like your parents. Maybe he doesn't have parents or he has no leadership, right? He's saying something there.
Sushi out the salmon run. Trouble manish, I'm an apple with no tree. I'm ground swell crashing every castle at Jones Beach. It's beautiful as Jolene here.
A groundswell, that's like a long period of waves that travel long distances and they crash on the shore, right? I believe that's what it could be a buildup of anything, actually, but normally you refer to it as like a buildup of waves.
Tree, I'm ground swell crashing every castle at Jones Beach. It's beautiful as Jolene here in the sun.
Ooh, Jolene, he could be talking about the more modern reference would probably be the White Stripes, right? But this was originally a Dolly Parton song, Jolene, and it's actually kind of funny. She claims that she met a little girl that wanted an autograph. And the little girl, she was like, "Shorty, maybe not Shorty, right? Maybe like, sweetheart, what's your name?" As her had to move her titties so she could see what the girl was, right? Just like dudes might lift their belly up to see their dick and shit. But she looks at it, she's like, "What's your name, little girl?" And he's like, "Jolene." She said, "That's a beautiful name. I'm gonna write a song about that one day," and she did. But there's actually a story about, I believe she wouldn't have put out that story if she wasn't like cheated on her. So there's this whole story about Jolene. But in there, she talks about what her eyes are like brown, like almond. maybe I'm mixing that up, but she does talk about her hair and her eyes where they talk about the beauty of Jolene.
Castle at Jones Beach, it's beautiful as Jolene.
Hair in the sun.
Or any adversary wrapped up in an area rug.
Ooh, got a body, didn't you? Right? You got an adversary, somebody that is going against you, right? Wrapped up in an area rug. Like, yo, you about to dispose something. This might be a little difficult, right?
Hair in the sun, or any adversary wrapped up in
an area rug.
Animals and plant life. Birds eat from his hand. You got
damn right.
Bad hand banned out. Trying to man up, man down. Folks say I'm difficult. Too rigid.
No, the beat changed again, right?
It's funny, I'm real easy. Y'all tripping. Every time an influencer offers advice, I feel years coming off of my life.
Right, these influencers. We just had it recently with Kim Kardashian saying, like, women need to get off their butts and get back to work. It's like, bitch, why don't you get off your back and maybe you might have to work? Stupid ass bitch. No, but, influencers, they always want to act. Just because you have a platform doesn't mean that you're more intelligent than the next person. Right? Just because you made it for XYZ doesn't mean it's going to be the same path for everybody else. Why don't you just shut the fuck up and keep your advice for someone who actually gives a fuck, right?
Every time an influencer offers advice, I
feel years coming off my life.
Blood shooting out of my ears. Still, I'm apparently a sucker for these houses of mirrors. Okay.
Ooh, a house of mirrors. That's something that's confusing, right? Or like a disorienting situation. You can't see the truth. You can't determine it from an illusion because there's competing versions of reality, right? When you have these different mirrors, which actually could be like filters, right? Think about Instagram. People don't look like that. They're using these filters that can change and manipulate the way that you look and manipulate your features. And Facebook's the same way. Like right when Facebook was cool, now it's just an area for your aunties and uncles to talk and share pictures. But back in the day, it's still just a highlight reel of your life. You're not putting up the good, the bad, and the ugly. You're putting out the good and the great and the exceptional. So it's not real life.
Shooting out of my ears, still I'm apparently a sucker for these
house of mirrors.
Homeboy, I can turn $1 into $2 with no job. All I do is hit a pot with a spoon.
Hit a pot with a spoon. So maybe he's saying like, yo, I know how to make dough. All I need to do is get in this music, right? If I'm making music, I'm going to get money. But there's actually, there's always a double play on what he's saying, right? So there's a very old, I don't know if it's like urban legend, but it's definitely superstition that people make noises with pots and pans that's supposed to ward away evil spirits. So there could be a play there if he's hitting a pot with a spoon, or he could be just talking about making beats, making music to multiply his money, right? But you think of back in the day, right? You think of areas like Barcelona, right? They also have a name for it, a casalada, right? And that's a form of protest. It's a very noisy protest where people are on their balconies and they're banging pots and pans. That's where that name comes from. But I don't know if that's what he's talking about or he's just talking about making money.
$1 into $2 with no job. All I do is hit a
pot with a spoon.
To anybody clocking a copy is every move. Catch a birdie from the window of a rocket to the moon.
Woo.
Double wide enclosure at the back of the zoo.
He's talking about a trailer. The trailer is a double wide. It's at the back of the zoo. It's where we keep your mom. Double wide enclosure at the back of the zoo.
Got a cat named Kirby.
Yo, Kirby. She can rap too, huh?
Got a cat named Kirby.
She can rap good too.
Gadzooks.
Gadzooks is like, goddamn. G Willikers. It's a what do you call it? It's like a exclamation, right? It could be surprise or you're annoyed.
Got a cat named Kirby, she can rap good too. Gadzooks, it
We hope you to slow that roll.
turn jokers in a smoking hole.
Ooh. He said, don't get it twisted, bro. Around what did he say? Around here, we turn jokers into smoking holes. Damn.
Trouble nobody knows. Still show us home.
What do you say about
holes? I'm a fever dream. I seen trouble nobody knows.
a fever dream is just a really strange experience that it's usually a bad one, but it seems like a dream rather than something that would really happen. But when you have a fever, right, you can get these mixed emotions and such. So he's experiencing something.
Jokers in a smoking hole.
I'm a fever dream, seeing trouble nobody knows. A nova is just like a star, right? You ever hear like a supernova?
Seen trouble nobody knows. Still show us home county how a nova explodes. That's a whole lot of woe on a stove. That's a whole lot of holes in your prose. Gross. Folks say I'm difficult. Too defiant. It's funny, I'm real easy. Y'all wildin'.
Wildin' out. Yo, I like this one. More than anything, I think this was more of a simple song. It didn't really require too much of an intellectual breakdown where we're breaking down vocabulary and references. I think he just thought about like, yo, everybody says I'm a difficult mofo, but man, really I'm easy and things are simplistic to me. But maybe it's the way that you're looking at the situation. But I really like this one. Something about it, even though it's not as complex, just even the beat change. It's just a good song, man. It's very rare that I hear an album that I can actually let ride. So far, we've heard Jazz Hands, Wolf Piss, Legurdaman, and now this is Difficult. So the next one's going to be All the Smartest People. If you're a fan and you love Aesop Rock, you like these really complex lyrics and these complex breakdowns, man, show some love by liking the video, subscribing to the channel. We're going to continue going through Garbology and do it in its entirety.